Welcome to the Nourished Mama podcast. I am your host, Anna Robinson, certified nutritionist and wellness coach, plus fellow mama. This podcast is here to show you that you can live your healthiest, happiest, most vibrant life as a mama. Each week, I will be sharing different nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset hacks that are going to support you in your health journey. You can expect realistic and sustainable advice, plus strategies that can easily fit into your busy life as a mama. Because without a nourished mama, there can't be a nourished home. So if you are committed to creating a life filled with vibrance for you and for the ones you love most, then you are in the right place. So let's get into today's life-changing episode. Hello, beautiful mamas, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is all about healthy weight loss you can actually achieve by eating more food throughout your day. Sounds crazy, but it'll make total sense by the end of this episode, so hear me out. I cannot even begin to tell you guys how many diets I've actually tried in the past. All of them obviously failed me, but more importantly, they negatively affected my health as well as my relationship with food at the time. I am now so super grateful that I was able to get past all of this and learn how to really nourish my body with incredible foods. I truly hope that one day this will become the norm for everybody, especially my fellow mamas. Now, I actually distinctly remember the last diet I was on. It was a terrible one that had me in an extreme calorie deficit. Now, this is very common in most diets, but that night I remember one night going to bed feeling so hungry. I tossed and turned all night, and all I could think about was going downstairs and shoveling anything in my mouth that I could get my hands on. It was such a horrible feeling. I remember waking up feeling so flat and drained that day, and I told myself that there was no more diets, no more calorie counting, no more starving myself. I never wanted to feel like that again. Now, not long after this is actually when I started my nutrition studies, and this is when I realized I really wanted to start eating for optimal health and start using food as medicine. Now, at the time, I had no intention to associate this with any weight loss. I was just genuinely so fascinated learning about how powerful whole foods can be towards our health. Understanding how one simple fruit and vegetable can provide us with so many incredible vitamins and minerals that in turn affect our everyday health and wellness. I became obsessed with adding as many whole foods into my day as possible. If I got to 3 p.m. and I hadn't reached my recommended fruit and veg intake, then I would make a smoothie or a juice with as many fruits and veggies as I could. And this is something that I still live by now every single day. During that time, I firstly noticed a huge shift in my energy and my overall health from the inside. But then I started noticing a huge shift in my physical body. I started losing weight unintentionally. I was less bloated, and I noticed myself looking less puffy and inflamed. All that excess water weight and inflammation that I'd held onto for years from pregnancy slowly started to diminish. This was my first insight into the power of food, into anti-inflammatory eating, and using food for optimal health and wellness. So if you followed me for a while, you'll know I'm heavily against the calorie counting and calorie deficit approach when it comes to weight loss. Yes, of course, this approach in most cases will get you some weight loss results. But the key part to weight loss isn't about how much you can actually lose. It's about whether you can actually sustain it and keep it off. And this is why 95% of diets fail. There have been several studies into why this is the case, and most of it comes back to the fact that diets are actually not realistic and not sustainable. Think about it. Do you know anyone that has been on a particular diet for more than 3 to 6 months? But the other thing that's really important to also note here is that most diets have been created for men and take little to no consideration towards the female body. What works for men simply does not work for women. We have a much more complex hormonal system that plays a huge role in the way our bodies store fat and even lose weight. Now, I spent years trying every new diet trend, starving my body for little to no results. And if I saw results, I could never maintain them. The other thing I would really notice on most diets was when I lost weight, another part of my health would suffer. I would start losing my hair, my skin would break out, I would start bloating and feel extremely burnt out and even anxious. And this is why just focusing on calories in and calories out does not nourish the female body. But the good news here is that when you actually stop focusing on calories and start focusing on nutrients, this allows your body to heal. It supports your gut health, your hormonal system, your emotional health, and all of these play a huge role in losing weight that you can actually maintain and keep off. And this is why I love the anti-inflammatory eating approach. It's not only flexible, but it allows your body to function at optimal health. Now, I know you guys hear me talk about this way of eating all the time, but it really is the best kept secret to women's health and sustainable weight loss. Because it doesn't involve counting calories, eating small portions of food, starving yourself every day. It simply focuses on reducing inflammation in the body and creating an anti-inflammatory environment which allows for every area of your health to thrive. You're not compromising one for the other, which most other diets make you do. If you want to learn actually about all the incredible benefits of anti-inflammatory eating, I have an amazing episode, a few episodes down from this, that goes into so much more than just weight loss. But basically, anti-inflammatory eating focuses on nourishing your body with nutritiously dense whole foods in their natural state. These are things like nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, veggies, fruits, meat, poultry, fish, seafood. When we do this as women, especially as mamas, our bodies start to heal. We start creating a less inflamed and more calm environment in the body. This begins to naturally replenish your depleted body from several nutrient deficiencies, which can actually cause you to store more fat and make it very difficult to lose weight. When you're deficient in things like magnesium, B vitamins, iron, your metabolism can't actually function properly. Your body goes into a protective mode, holding into fat because it thinks it's in a state of scarcity. And this, unfortunately, is so common with mamas. Mamas are walking around with so many nutrient deficiencies. Anti-inflammatory eating, on the other hand, ensures you're getting a wide spectrum of nutrients from whole food sources, which are much better absorbed than any supplement on the supermarket shelf. This approach also begins to heal your gut, repairing the lining and balancing your gut microbiome. Several studies have shown when there is more bad bacteria in the gut, this causes your body to store more fat, crave more sugar, and again, make it very difficult for your body to lose weight. Your gut microbiome influences everything from your metabolism to your cravings. When your gut is inflamed and imbalanced, it actually increases the hormones that make you feel hungry and decreases the ones that signal fullness. This is why you might feel like you're constantly hungry on those restrictive calorie deficit diets. Your gut bacteria are literally sending signals to your brain asking for more food. And this is when you're generally going to go for that more nutrient-less option or a high sugary option. Anti-inflammatory eating, on the other hand, provides your gut with exactly what it needs: plenty of fiber, probiotics, prebiotics. And as your gut health improves, you'll notice your cravings naturally decrease, your energy levels stabilize, and your body becomes more efficient at processing the nutrients from your food. Another incredible element of anti-inflammatory eating is that it helps regulate your hormones, which, you guessed it, play a huge role in weight loss and storing fat. When your body is constantly inflamed, it disrupts your entire hormonal system. Your cortisol levels stay elevated, which signals your body to hold on to fat, especially around your midsection and tummy. High inflammation also affects your insulin sensitivity, making it so much harder for your body to properly process sugar and again leading to more fat storage. But when you focus on anti-inflammatory foods, you're giving your hormonal system exactly what it needs to function optimally. Things like healthy fats from avocados, extra virgin olive oil, and fatty fish provide the building blocks for hormone production and hormone healing. And the abundance of fiber from vegetables help regulate your estrogen levels. And when your hormones are balanced, your body naturally releases stored fat it no longer actually needs. And then there's stress, both physical and emotional. Chronic inflammation is a form of stress on your body, and when combined with our already busy lives, it can make weight loss seem impossible. A lot of diets put your body under so much more stress. The beauty of anti-inflammatory eating is that it actually helps reduce your body's stress response. The abundant antioxidants and phytonutrients loaded in colorful fruits and vegetables help combat oxidative stress in your body, and mineral-rich foods support your nervous system. This is very abundant in an anti-inflammatory eating approach. But here's what I love most about anti-inflammatory eating. You actually get to eat large, satisfying meals. Gone are the days of tiny portions that leave you hungry an hour later. With anti-inflammatory eating, your plate should be full of colorful vegetables, healthy proteins, nourishing fats, and complex carbohydrates. These foods are naturally less calorie dense whilst being incredibly nutrient dense, which means you can eat until you're truly satisfied. When you're eating this way, something magical happens. Your body starts to trust that it's being taken care of. It's no longer in that survival mode, desperately holding on to every calorie. Instead, it begins to release stored fat because it knows it's getting all the nutrients it needs. It starts to function optimally. This is what I mean by letting your body regulate itself. Many of my clients are absolutely amazed when they see their dinner plates actually getting bigger, yet they're losing weight steadily and sustainably. They're eating more food than ever, but it's the right kind of food. Foods that reduce inflammation, support their hormones, heal their gut, and nourishes their body at a cellular level. This is sustainable weight loss. It's not about counting calories or restricting portions. It's about creating an environment in your body where weight loss becomes a natural byproduct of good health. When your body is functioning optimally, maintaining a healthy weight becomes so much more effortless. Now, the thing is, unfortunately, most mamas I work with are simply not eating enough food. Alongside the anti-inflammatory approach, it's also important you are building balanced meals. And when I say balanced, I don't mean portion sizes, food groups. So a nutritionally balanced anti-inflammatory meal doesn't need to be complicated, but there is a little bit of basic science around it. When we are putting our meals together, it's important to take into consideration the 4 main food groups, which is protein, carbohydrates, veggies or fruit, and a healthy fat. When we prepare each of our meals with all of these elements, our body will be able to digest our food for optimal health, for energy, and for hunger satisfaction. Protein, for example, is the main building block of our body. It helps satisfy our hunger and keeps us fuller for longer. It's when we don't add protein to our meal that we start feeling hungry not long after. Protein foods are things like poultry, meat, fish, legumes, tofu. Carbohydrates, or as I like to call them, smart carbs, are foods that fuel our energy. These are things like sweet potatoes, rice, quinoa, beans. On an anti-inflammatory diet, we do try to avoid gluten as much as possible, but again, the flexibility is there. Veggies and fruits are in charge of providing us with our essential vitamins and minerals, and this is what helps us recover from those nutrient deficiencies that I spoke about earlier. And lastly, healthy fats fuel our metabolism, support our hormone health, and help us feel fuller for longer. Creating balanced meals full of whole foods are key not only for optimal health, but also for healthy, sustainable weight loss. Adding more of the good stuff in actually creates a reaction in your body that not only digests and metabolizes your food better, but it also helps keep you satisfied for longer. I can almost guarantee that most of the mums, when I first meet them, are generally actually not eating enough food, even though they might think they're eating too much food. The problem is they are not nourishing their bodies with whole foods first. Now, I don't at all recommend cutting out the simple pleasures of life completely. Things like chocolate or ice cream are there to be enjoyed from time to time. I'm all about flexibility. But what I do always recommend is prioritizing your whole foods first. Approaching your everyday diet from a place of abundance is key. Think about how you can fit in more fruits, veggies, and other whole foods into your day. This will naturally have you reaching less for fast packet options that provide you with no nutritional value and don't support the energy you need as a mama. Don't be afraid of fruits. Don't be afraid of carbohydrates, and definitely don't be afraid of healthy fats. None of these are going to make you fat. In fact, they will do the complete opposite. When you nourish your body this way, you will create long-lasting healthy habits that will support your healthy weight loss journey and, more importantly, help you keep that weight off. Now, I want to give you some tips on how to actually put this into practice. I'm going to share my favorite ways to structure meals that maximize these anti-inflammatory benefits while keeping you satisfied and energized all day. Let's first start with breakfast because this sets the tone for your entire day. Forget the tiny bowls of cereal and plain toast. These spike your blood sugar and lead to cravings later on in the day. Instead, I want you to think about building a breakfast that combines protein, healthy fats, and rich carbohydrates. One of my favorite combinations is a big bowl of leftover roasted vegetables topped with 2 eggs, half an avocado, and a handful of beautiful pumpkin seeds. Yes, this is a much bigger breakfast than you might be used to, but trust me, this is what your body needs to thrive. For lunch, I want you to think about filling your plate with colorful veggies, both raw and cooked. The other half should be split between a quality protein source and a complex carbohydrate. Add a generous serving of healthy fats through things like olive oil dressing, nuts, or avocado. One of my go-to lunches is a large salad with dark leafy greens, roasted sweet potato, chickpeas, some pumpkin seeds, and a variety of colorful vegetables dressed with olive oil and lemon juice. Notice how this is a substantial meal, nothing like those boring salad desks that leave you raiding the snack drawer by 3 p.m. Now, dinner follows a similar template, but I encourage you to experiment with different proteins and vegetables to ensure you're getting a wide range of nutrients. Variety is key when it comes to nutrient absorption. Don't stick to the same fruit and vegetables all the time. A perfect anti-inflammatory dinner might look like some wild-caught salmon with roasted broccoli, cauliflower, and maybe some Brussels sprouts, served with quinoa and topped with some fresh herbs and a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Now, let's quickly talk about snacks because this is where many women struggle. Instead of reaching for processed snacks that promote inflammation, keep anti-inflammatory options readily available. Think about combinations like apple slices with almond butter, carrots, and hummus, or a handful of mixed berries with some walnuts. These combinations provide sustained energy without causing inflammation or making you feel like you're going to need to reach for something else 20 minutes later. One thing I want to emphasize is that transitioning to this way of eating doesn't need to happen overnight. Start by making one meal more anti-inflammatory each day. Maybe begin with breakfast, master that, then move on to lunch. Small, consistent changes lead to those lasting results. We're all about sustainability here. Now, I want to share some success stories from women who have really embraced this approach. Sarah, a busy mum of three that I worked with a while ago, she had been struggling with weight loss for years despite trying every diet under the sun. Rather than taking a weight loss first approach, I taught her everything she needed to know about anti-inflammatory eating. Within 3 months of switching to an anti-inflammatory eating approach, not only did she lose the 7 kilos, but her energy levels soared, her skin cleared up, her sugar cravings completely disappeared. Then I had another client, Maria, who came to me with hormonal issues and stubborn weight that she just couldn't budge. She was initially skeptical about eating larger portions of food because she did struggle with a terrible relationship with food where she felt like she was constantly overeating. But once she started to trust the process and focused on anti-inflammatory meals, her body began to transform. 6 months later, she's maintained a 10-kilo weight loss without ever counting a single calorie again. And most importantly, her hormonal symptoms have dramatically improved. Now, everyone's body is different, and anti-inflammatory eating isn't necessarily a weight loss plan. So there is no linear results here. Body will react differently. But the thing is, these women succeeded because they shifted their focus from restriction to nourishment. They stopped fighting their bodies and started supporting them instead. And that's what I want for you too. And here's some simple steps to get you started. Begin by adding more anti-inflammatory foods to your current meals rather than removing foods. Focus on eating enough at each meal. This prevents snacking on inflammatory foods later. And prioritize variety in your vegetables. Aim for at least 6 different colors each day. And don't forget about herbs and spices. They are a powerful anti-inflammatory agent. Lastly, listen to your body's hunger and fullness signals. This gets easier as inflammation decreases in your body. Inflammation prevents these signals, but once it decreases, you will really be able to tune into this more and more. Now remember, this isn't a quick fix or another restrictive diet. It's a sustainable approach that works with your body's natural processes. When you reduce inflammation and provide your body with the nutrients it needs, weight loss becomes a natural side effect of good health. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address something important. Progress isn't linear. There will be days when you eat differently, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. What matters is the overall pattern of how you're nourishing your body. Now, it may take a little longer to see the physical results of weight loss compared to a restrictive calorie deficit diet, but trust me, the end results will be so much more satisfying and sustainable. So I really encourage you to focus on creating some more balanced anti-inflammatory meals this week. Remember those 4 food groups you should have on your plate. Think about ways you can nourish your body with more fruits and veggies. My personal favorite way to do this is through smoothies and juices between my main meals as well. Try blending some combinations of fruits and veggies together to reach your recommended daily servings. Trust me, you'll begin to notice a huge shift in your energy and your health very quickly. Now, weight loss for some reason has turned into an extremely controversial topic, but I do believe if we have the right intentions for our body and approach our weight loss goals from a place of love and respect for ourselves, that there is no crime in wanting to lose weight. If you want to start your anti-inflammatory eating journey, but you're not sure where to start, I have the perfect simple program for you. My 7-day Beat the Burnout Detox is your complete step-by-step guide to anti-inflammatory eating. We've done for you meal plans, shopping lists, and so much more. I will link this in the show notes for you. Now, that brings me to the end of today's episode. If you resonated with this, please let me know and leave a review. If you know any other mamas that would resonate with this and would love to hear this episode, please link it over to them. Have a beautiful week. I can't wait for you to tune in next week again. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this conversation has inspired you to live your healthiest, happiest life. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next week. Bye for now.